where we're gonna start is right after the last combat. You guys get pulled. This is within the 2 weeks of the downtime section, and at some point, Harold Hastings, the owner of one of the co-owners of of Hastings Holiday Holdings, has pulled you into his office. His secretary Angela has called you in, and you're both sitting across from him at the desk. And he's like, "So, boys, from what I understand, you're looking for a place to stay right now. I know you don't essentially want to live with any of the others in the group, at least until you've become more acquainted. But what sort of skills or assets are we working with to get you boys set up?"
I pull out my pouch and I say, I have a small amount of money right here, and I just throw my entire pouch of gold coins on the counter.
I look at Harold Hastings after he does that. Hey, man. I kind of don't know what the value of money in this place is versus where I came from. And my friend is a little eager to just throw all of his money up on the fucking counter.
In which he did.
But sort of have the feeling that maybe I shouldn't just put everything I own up there with it until I know what its worth is in this place. And I would greatly appreciate it if you could kind of clue me into that. Especially seeing as how you did nothing to mitigate the death of somebody.
To be fair, I was protecting my secretary, the person I am both financially and emotionally invested in, because she's worked for me for quite some time. I'm sorry for the loss of your acquaintance. You all will probably be compensated within the next 2 weeks.
That's fair enough. I'm not saying that I was exactly close to the man. I'm just pointing out I would like you to at least tell me how much my money is worth here.
Well, and he pushes a button to kind of buzz Angela in, and he definitely, like, Josh, roll perception for me if you can. 18, with an 18, you definitely see, like, his eyes get wide when he opens the bag and the gleam of the gold from his desk lamp. The light hits the gold, and the gold reflects off his eyes, so too in the way that the suitcase from fucking Pulp Fiction does. And his eyes go wide. This man's seen a lot of money, but he did not expect you to have this much money on you. And he's like, he has a little scale, like it's like a little kind of a Libra scale that's got kind of a little dial in the middle of it. You understand that you could probably get the weight of something using either of the two scales. It's mainly just for show. But he takes one of the gold coins that are relatively the same and sets it on the scale. And it comes back at 1.5 ounces on the scale. And for any of you other people in the party that are listening to this, we went through a fucking 40-minute session of us figuring out how the scale of gold to 1984 Miami. And Angela comes in and he's like, "Angela, how much would 1.5 ounces of gold, solid gold, be worth currently?" And she rifles through a big kind of binder, and she's like, "Well, Mr. Hastings, if it's clean gold and been melted down properly and skimmed of all impurities, it would be roughly $400 each." And I think he coughs a little bit, and has to take a sip of his water. And I think he pulls out the gold, sets it into like piles, counts it out after sending Angela back to the front. And he tells you that you have 160 gold, which...
So I approximately have $96,000.
Okay, thank you. You had it on hand. Yeah, you have $96,000.
I'm close to it.
Well, Bernie, this is quite the lump sum. I don't know if this is a little in your world, but here, this is a lot of fucking money. This is a lot of fucking money on this table.
Kind of look at him and I say, kind of had a sense of that earlier when I bought some things. Didn't quite know, but Jim looked pretty eager when I gave him some money to get me a few things. Mr. Hastings.
Yes.
I noticed John was giving out clothes to a lot of people, but I'll be quite honest with you. The clothes he was giving out, I don't particularly care for. However, I would like some clothes while I'm here. I didn't exactly pack for vacation.
Oh, well, we can certainly get you a tailor. I mean, you guys are doing a lot of the groundwork for me in the next, or will be in the next few months, presumably. So we can definitely get you hooked up.
I'd like some leather.
So out of character, what are you looking to wear? What do you want Bernie to wear? Like, it can still be statted as your armor, but are you wanting like just black and brown or black or brown leather, and are you wanting it to have a punk kind of design with it?
I'm definitely wanted it to be like punk rock stuff because that's studded leather.
Yeah.
Which is the best armor I can wear.
We've talked about it, so we think that Bernie in the last few days has been kind of like traveling around. He realizes that while Josh definitely has been told by the others he can't have his ears exposed because they are pointed, and he will be definitely questioned or hazed about them immediately. You are just a short man and probably draw like heavy attention to you. Like, I think people look at you but then look away when they realize that you notice them looking. Almost like shameful for staring. So you can traverse wherever, but you may be picked on by like rambunctious strangers, but I think you wanted to talk to me about Bernie exploring like the music scene in Miami in 1984, and that's kind of how he gets into punk culture.
Yes. Definitely, I think that he ends up at a punk show because he thinks it's a thieves' guild.
Okay, he finds
because
the local...
he sees a bunch of because he sees a bunch of people in like leather and studded leather, and he's like, obviously this is the thieves' guild. And he's also kind of confused that it's so easy to find.
It's so easy to find, and also half the people's hair are brightly colored or really big, so they're kind of just drawing way more attention to themselves than the Thieves Guild in your plane did.
Yeah. But I just roll with it, and I think it's the Thieves Guild. I assume that things are just different here. Like, maybe it's more out in the open.
Yeah.
But that's definitely what I think the punk show is.
Okay. Well, we can go through that. You can kind of give me an idea of how Bernie is dressed as a gnome going forward. If you want some time to think on that, that's fine. You don't really have to draw up anything. You just kind of have to tell me later, but we don't have to do it now unless you want to.
We'll get to it later.
Okay.
Keep going.
So, Kamini, before we talk about where we're going to kind of set you up or look into this money being spent, being wisely invested and spent, Is there anything you require? I know Bernie just asked for like different clothes. Are you trying to get set up with occupation or anything like that?
Oh, the thing I'd be looking for is probably a workshop of some sort. Maybe kind of like a base ground that's kind of separated from the living quarters itself. As for an occupation, probably something that'll allow me to get materials so I can continue my craft.
I don't want to get into all this, or I guess I don't want to get into like him breaking down how he's going to do it for you. So we're gonna go with he keeps that in mind while looking for a place for you guys using this money. And you and I discussed earlier that we agreed about 110,000, so we'll round it down to 100,000 is well worth a decent house in 84. I don't think it'll be like John's condo or anything like that, but I think you definitely can find one more like in a suburban area, and maybe there's like some tall like palm trees above, giving it sort of a like decent canopy. And I think in this place, and I'll probably take like, well, if you want an entire workshop, I'm gonna take more from you. But if you want just like a place inside the house, like a room to work on your shit, as an artificer, I'll take 10,000 from you for that.
All right, I think I can deal with that.
Okay, so
I'll throw my gold up on the table with his at this point.
Oh, sorry, I was already considering your gold whenever I said 100,000. So, you guys pull your money together, and you manage to afford a house to stay in a kind of a suburban area. Like I said, hold up, my shit's not. There we go. But you find a house that the two of you can stay in. As of right now, we'll say it has the normal rooms. Like we'll say it's a 2-bedroom, 1.5 bath, or we can say 1.5 bath home. And it's got.
It's good because gnomes take. As it's good as it's got a 1.5 bath because gnomes take like horrendous shits.
All right, that's canon now in this. But we're gonna say, I'll say 3 bedrooms, so we can have the room for you to have the workshop, which would be your specific thing. So you'll have your workshop. What do you want it kind of lined with?
My stuff, maybe something I can do like a little bit of smithing with, not necessarily like metal, not true metal work, not like a forge and anvil, but like maybe a kind of like a grinder of some sort, some way to sharpen shit and
Okay, so
make it malleable.
we can, I guess with the money, this won't be a practical room. Like obviously you would want this away from other stuff. We think that I think that maybe you can keep like your equipment in here. Maybe you have to wheel it out back in the like back patio or something to actually work on. But the items that you would work in your craft are probably stored in here.
Armor, weapons. Maybe I'm tinkering with like random shit. So probably like I probably have like random electronics kind of strewn about because I'm just trying to figure out how it works.
I got you. We're gonna say that you have a grindstone. So if you want to like do stuff with that, that's fine. An anvil, a small. We'll say you have a small anvil, and you have a like small kiln, so you can melt stuff. Like you could probably forge knives and stuff with what you have now, and then you probably have like a drying rack and stuff for like doing leather work.
I want to bust out the muscle relaxers I have.
Okay.
And I want to ask him if he knows anything about just basically like drugs in this world.
I mean, he basically like Skim kind of went over it with you a little bit before, but I think that I'm not going to get into how much his character would know specifically about them because I think John probably does recreational cocaine. Or sorry, not John. Definitely doesn't. He already said that he's a Patrick Bateman-esque character. Harold definitely does recreational cocaine, and he will say that the biggest supplier in your district of Miami is probably Joseph, Crystal's father.
I'm glad to know that information. I mean, I'm definitely trying to get hired, but I want to inquire if he specifically knows anything that I could do with these drugs, not recreationally. I think I fed one of these to Meek and noticed that they're definitely like a major downer, right? Like they're not a fun time.
I mean,
so he became lethargic, almost sleepy.
Yeah. All right. So I'm gonna say this, James. It out of character. I guess how he would explain it is that like they're just muscle relaxers. To him, it doesn't really mean anything. But if you were to like maybe slip it into somebody's drink, if you broke it down, that would be probably how you give that person disadvantage on like a couple actions. I'm not gonna like have a muscle relaxer just like instantly make somebody useless, but like how resistant they are to it is up to the like creature or person.
All right, word, yeah. I'm looking for a way to like use these, and I think Bernie very much like doesn't feel like he can use them in like a profitable way. He's more like, this is just something I have that I could use.
Yeah. No, I get it. That's really all I can say about it, man. They're not like game breaking. If you did it to somebody, I might give them a minus rather than full disadvantage on like an action of some sort. It's just like he had them on hand because I thought of like just Skim working for Big Pharma. He just are working in tandem with Big Pharma. Just has access to prescription drugs, and it made sense that like with his low roll that he only had muscle relaxers and a couple Quaaludes.
No, that's totally fine. I'm just trying to figure out a use for them.
Yeah, that would be the only use is like maybe you can like slip them on somebody. That's about it.
Yeah, I'm cool with that.
Okay. Is there anything that you want to add to the house, Bernie? Because we've already got Kamini's workshop. And I'm taking another 10,000 from you guys for that since it's inside and he just has to wheel stuff out if he wants to work with like hot work outside.
No, I don't really think so. I was kind of thinking about being like put a smoking room in, but I actually much more think Bernie is the kind of person that just lights up a cigar wherever he's at and doesn't care.
Okay, so your room is the smoking room, and we will say that Harold Hastings notices that you've taken an interest in this world's like music in the week that you've been here, and I think he gives you. I guess with the money you have, we could just say you spend a little bit of it, and he helps you get like an early cassette player. I guess what's 84 is what like fucking like not
that's cassette.
Not quite Walkman, but like definitely cassettes.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you have either cassette or do you want like a record player?
No, I'm good with cassettes. That seems much more in theme with the 80s.
Yeah, so you have like a decent like stereo system for your room.
As an aside, for the one-off with that you and me talked about earlier, I do really want to tie Kamini into it, not for like what me and you do, but like for what I bring back as what I want him to like artificer and enchant.
Okay, just keep in mind that Kamini can only have 2 enchantments active at any given time.
I'll keep that. 3. Oh my god. he's leveled up.
You're right, he has leveled up, but it is 3, so we will have to talk to him if he's wanting to do it for his character. But that would be a thing for the one-off. I think we're going to end here with the downtime talk for this, and then I'll get into the other stuff with different characters in separate ones.